Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 103 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I am just heading up this little underground pathway that I made between my main base and my underwater sanctuary to hide from the Endermen. And I want to sneak up here because I thought about it between last episode and this one, and I came up with what might be a good idea to deal with the whole water issue that I was talking to you guys about in the past. So why don't I get started building what I'm hoping will be a good, solution to that. Let's see. I'm thinking the launcher track might do pretty well, actually. So 2 blocks of iron and a piston, not a problem. I'm probably going to need to clean up my inventory just a bit, as usual. So maybe I'll put these guys away for now. And then maybe also put some other things away, like this stuff. Always with the inventory problems, aren't there? So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe a launcher track here. And that will launch me through the force field, because I can't have the tracks be on the ground there. They'll get knocked off by the water. That's going to be a problem for me. So I'm hoping this will be a pretty good solution. Alright, that should all be good. So blocks of iron, let's go get some. 1, 2, alright, that's tin. Okay, I need iron. And I'll be right back. Alright, let's see if we can get this launcher track working. I haven't tested this, so I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm hoping that it does. What I'm thinking here is basically launch my cart through that little, force field tunnel. I don't know if it's going to be too low, but we'll find out, right? Yep. We're testing on camera, live and in person. And then what I'll probably do is wind up laying down these tracks between here and there. Hey, there we go. I love teleporting. It's the best. Alright. Wow, this is a long way. I'm definitely going to want some high-speed tracks in here, don't you think? Yeah, for real. Alright, open this guy up, and probably just place that like so. And let's put a cart right here. And... oh yeah, did that get inside? I kind of feel like it did. Not too shabby. How do we get a Slimer dude in here? For real. Alright, let's get our force field going on and off real quick. There we go. Back up and running. So it got pretty close, actually. Let's actually get this guy to the point where he's opening up the tunnel for me. Oh, right. I took that off that level, didn't I? Oh, well. Yeah, I took the receiver off. I forgot I did that. Anyway, having fun. Cool. Alright, so this thing should be completely off now, right? Yeah, everything's off. Water's completely filled back in. Awesome. Let's get out through here. Let's try that once more with the force field on. I want to consider bumping the track speed up a little bit. Or, I mean, like the speed thing, like the rail force. Let's bump it up to like 7 and see how that works. And I also want to make sure my character's in it. And maybe... yep, that was more than I wanted to do. Maybe I should just wire this up temporarily a little bit more directly. Let's do this. And like I said, this is all for the sake of testing the build. Yeah, and why not a button? Since buttons are probably the better tool to use here. Okay, so minecart ready to go, and button activate. Shoot me through. Nice, that got me through, alright? Yeah. Not too bad, actually. That's almost kind of perfect-ish. I like it. Alright, looking good. We've made some progress. We've even got some stranded squid. Sorry, buddy. Can't help it. I'm going to do something inside this underwater base room here, because we've basically got our entranceway in. I'm going to want 2 things. One, a way to get back to my main base, just in case I want to, sneak back over there. Ooh, I kind of have an idea. Yeah, but not so good of one. Alright, give me a few, I'll be right back. Alright guys, heading over to my rolling machine, let's get some stuff going on. Everything's probably landing in my miner's backpack, which is fine, except that I don't want it to right now. And since I'm here, I might as well drop it all off. And maybe even put my miner's backpack away now, because I don't need to have him in my inventory at the moment. Nope, we're good. So, hey, let's make some of this stuff that does cool things. Let's put some iron in here and get some rebar. Cool. Oh yeah, tons of the stuff. Probably way more than I needed, but for fun. Let's also grab over here, I don't know, some smooth stone. And you know what? I'm going to need more smooth stone than this. Lots more, actually. So why don't I just put all my smooth stone away for later use, and I'll transmute myself some. Target this guy, and go to my Klein star to get 3 stacks of it. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And I believe I can place in my crafting table here the following items. I want to get a good number of stone slabs. Probably got more smooth stone than I need to, didn't I? Yeah, probably. There we go, that looks good. And some stone slabs. And we'll get stone ties. Nice. Get about a stack of them. And some stone rail beds. Perfect. And those, of course, are usable with our high-speed track. We just need to get ourselves some high-speed rail. So let's get a good handful of them. Let's go with, I don't even know how much I want to get of this high-speed. That's advanced rail, right? Did I ever teach my transmutation table how to do high-speed rail? I don't think that I did, actually. Let's see. High-speed rail is steel ingots, blaze powder, and gold ingots. Wow, yeah. No wonder I probably never taught it. You know what? I'm going to go craft some of this stuff, and I'll be back in just a bit. Alright. Alright, let's give this thing a whirl. We'll just get whatever number of high-speed rails we could get out of the crafting that we did. Looks like we'll get a decent amount. We might need a little bit more, to be honest with you, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, I'm going to put all the excess stuff away in my Buildcraft Railcraft chest and see if I can't track down some more steel, because it looks like I'm getting a little bit low on that stuff. I already just threw some into a cooker over there. I'll wait for it to come back up and see if we get any more. Alright, let's go place this stuff downstairs. Alright, looks like we're ready to roll here. Let's get ourselves set up. I'm thinking maybe like right here, we could just have a cart dispenser maybe? Maybe even one further back. Hopefully I'm not too close to where I want to be, but I think this will be alright. Cart dispenser with probably want to have... Yeah, let's see here. Hang on one sec. Yeah, I remember this from the last time I was playing with cart dispensers. I want to put it like that, I think. Yeah, that ought to do. Is that kind of facing the right way or what? Maybe not. Where's my crowbar? We'll get this guy hooked up. Nice. We'll put a cart in there, and then let's try this whole thing out, shall we? I'm thinking maybe just marble back here. That'll look good. So again, just for testing purposes, but put this guy down, and then he'll get zipped along. Cool. Now let's see what kind of cool tracks I have inside my white bag here, because I know I should probably have a holding track, exactly what I was looking for. And remember, that's going to hold the track exactly where I want it to be. I might want a disembarking track eventually, and I think I'm going to go make myself real quick one of those, you know, player guy thingies. I'm wondering how well a holding track is going to work at an angle. Really curious. I don't think I've ever tested this before. Do you work? You do not work. All right, good to know. So let's figure out how I'm going to come in here. I might wind up actually having my doorway here. Okay, and then we'll have to see how this all works out, but basically, much better. Maybe come up to here and get on the track. That might work. So let's see. Probably put my holding track right here. Now is that gonna... Yeah, that is gonna propagate, isn't it? Darn. Not at all what I want to see. Alright, let's do this then. Place the cart dispenser here. And just use the crowbar to get it facing the right way. There we go. We'll put this guy back a little bit further, like this. And then we'll have a normal track, followed by holding track. How's that sound? So that the cart will just kind of be sitting here waiting for me. We'll get this stuff off. Cool. That ought to work pretty well, actually. And then it can just zip straight on down here. So how about I get all the wiring set up for how this is going to work, because basically we want a button push to activate these two pieces at the same time, and then we want a detector thingy right under here. So I'm going to go get all those items together and be right back. Alright, so making a pressure plate and some stone slabs around it. This was the recipe I had to look up, the detector for players in the cart. So this thing should all work out pretty well. And then I want to get some red alloy ingot wiring. That stuff is awesome as always. Where is it at though? Oh, it's already on me. Cool. Oh, I'm in better shape than I thought. Look at me, all kinds of prepared. So over here, I'm debating if I want the button wired up to the same thing that opens this door. I'm thinking I probably do. That way the cart's waiting for me when I get through. But for now, let's just wire it up like so. I believe that the wiring right here is what I want to have happen. So we'll just do this manually for now. And maybe even do something like this. And I'll tidy this all up in a bit, I promise. That ought to do. And then a button right here ought to do the trick. But I don't have any buttons on me. I don't know what happened to my button from before. So it's going to have to be a lever now. Alright, and cart goes in here. And what should happen, and of course I need to put my dispenser detector thingy right under here. So player detector goes right here. And the holding track goes right there. And now we should be in pretty good shape. Let's test it. So flipping the lever should deploy the cart right here for me, and then I hop in and away I go. Nice. That's what I wanted to see. And this thing should also work if this is covered up, right? Of course, it only works if that's covered up if there's a cart in there. That really, really helps. Oh yeah, nice. Hop right in and off we go. So that's my emergency escape route. Now what I'm going to do is just run some track straight down here. And this part I'm going to do mostly off camera, I suspect. Unless you guys want to watch this for the next 5 or 10 minutes. I don't think you do. Do you? Nah, probably not. But I will get down here and jump up a high-speed booster track. That might not be a bad thing. And before I place down my high-speed booster track, and I think I have a few more in some of my bags somewhere, by the way. Don't I? No, I've got elevator tracks, but not booster tracks. Alright, not a big deal. Alright, that's cool. Lots of stuff down there. But I want to get a redstone torch. So, ender pouch, get me some redstone, please. Just because I might need a little bit more. And that's rebar. That's not what I want to have on me at the moment. Just get myself maybe 4 redstone torches. That ought to do. You know, just for now. High-speed booster track, and I'm probably going to want a few more of those, to be honest with you, because remember I needed a good 2 or 3 to get up to a really good speed. So why don't I go craft some? Hopefully I've got some steel made now, and I'll be back in a few. Hey, wow, that steel actually cooked up rather quickly. Alright, I'm going to grab some more gold. Let's say 18 worth. That'll do. And all the excess stuff I'll put away. High-speed booster track, huh? Is redstone on top and bottom of a stone rail bed. Alright, I'm going to make some and be back. And high-speed booster track created. Let's boost up a decent speed here, and then we'll lay down our high-speed rails. And like I said, off-camera time, because I really think most of you said no, I don't want to see this for the next 5 minutes, Direwolf. So I'll be back. Well, I got a good portion of the way down, and I ran out of track. But that's okay, because I want to test this corner. I'm pretty sure high-speed rails can't go around corners. It's going to usually cause an explosion. At least that was how it worked before, but I haven't tested in a while, and I know you guys love explosions, right? So let's test it and find out if it still causes explosions. What do you say? Besides, it's a good chance to test my cart dispenser setup. So, deploy the cart, please. Cool. Jump in and ride. And then we should start getting boosted to a really high speed, and we're zipping along. So this is kind of my emergency escape route. Now what's going to happen when I turn that corner? Yep, explosion. Ha, thought so. So I'm going to need a couple more high-speed tracks, but I'm probably going to need to slow this guy down to about, you know, I'm thinking if I put those guys down, it should slow it down well enough to make it, you know, hit the turn. But, you You know what? A good way to test that is actually to try this. Let's try that for just a little bit of a test. Hopefully 2 is enough. We'll find out. Up we go. So remember, high-speed booster tracks definitely need to be slowed down, otherwise, kaboom. Hop on in, and away we go. Emergency escape route time. Oh no, the Endermen are after me. Slowed down, and we're good. Perfect. Alright, so what that's going to require then is a couple more high speeds. So, did need another torch, as predicted. And put the marble back down, and we'll probably go with 1 or 2 high-speed boosters right here. Let's go with 2, because I'm going to put 1 more way down here. I want to really go as fast as I can initially, because this is an escape route after all. Cool. Alright, I'll be back once I've got a few more high-speed tracks. Alright, that looks pretty good, so I'm going to slow down before I get to the booster track thing here. But otherwise, I've got this whole line of high-speed rails. And let's see, how many did I have down here? I did make a few more boosters. I wound up making a few because I needed to slow down anyway, so might as well place a few more down there. And let's even place another one right here. Make sure I'm going as fast as possible. After all, this is an escape route. So, ready to test it once more? Alright, this should get me all the way into my force field. Let's find out if I'm right about that. So, zip down here, boost up to the max speed. Oh yeah, I'm zipping by, look at that. Slow down for the turn, yoink, speed back up. And then it's off to the force field. Am I going to make it inside? Dun 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 dun, slow down, and away. And something didn't activate. Awesome. That might be that little something not activating like it should when it's supposed to thing that happens for whatever reason. Yeah, it's misbehaving. Awesome. Alright, I'll be right back. So let's try that again. And activate, and right away. Cool. Nice and high speed, but remember we have to slow down for the turn. Yoink. And back up to speed. Awesome. Might want to place 1 or 2 more high-speed boosters back there just to make sure we're in good shape. And this time it should work. Hooray, it did! And I got through the force field. Awesome. And I zipped back out before the field closed. Oh, cool. I like it. Let me just boost the speed a little bit more down here, and then we're going to work on probably the door. Yeah, let's get the door mechanism working properly. Might as well just use the last 2 of these. Doesn't hurt. I'll be back. Alright, so like I said, I think I'm going to have some kind of door mechanism. What the? Creeper. Not cool. I like how he spawned in there, though. That was awesome. Alright, let's light that up. So what I want to do, basically, is have some kind of door mechanism. So let's go up here and see what we can't figure out in terms of making a door. Now, what I'm considering... Okie dokie, then. How'd this guy get up here? Weird. Alright. Sorry, Mr. Cow. Not sure what the heck that's all about. But, I guess I will clean this up. That is really weird. I don't know where all this stuff came from. Anyway, getting creeped out now. Let's put all this away. And consider, what was I saying? Right, some kind of door. Very strange. Right, a door, yeah. Let's just get the door going. I'm starting to get nervous. Door, door, door. Right, so I'm thinking piston door. I've always been a fan of like the basic simple piston doors. Really not going to do a complicated, crazy one, because I feel like I should start hurrying up now. I'm going to place down 2 simple pistons, and these guys. And then really all I need to do is maybe even just to make it a little bit more mod-oriented, and for fun purposes, of course. And, oh yeah, of course there's water coming down here. There we go, much cleaner. I'm going to... Wow, what a mess I've made. Okay, good, I didn't lose that stuff. Did lose a lever. Not sure where that was from, but I'll figure it out. Yes. I want to set up some kind of doorway. So maybe just something a little more fancy, mod related. Let's get this guy covered up so that no more leaking occurs. Cool. I'll probably just convert this all to dirt in a minute, but for now, cobble it is. Beautiful. Alright, let's get some interesting and fun stuff right here. Beautiful. Let's put some kind of contraption wiring. What I'm thinking I want, basically, is a button to push that will open the door, and then walk through, and once I step on a pressure plate on the other side, it'll close the door, and then simultaneously kick off the cart thing for me. So let's get that going right about now. Alright, I think I could do this pretty simply, but of course, like the vanilla noob that I am, I forgot to make these sticky pistons. That's important. Wonder how many of you guys yelled at me just now. Probably a lot. Alright, so that's going to go there. Now I'm going to place my button right here. And that shouldn't activate the piston, right? Now if I put some red alloy wiring here, that is going to activate the piston. So what I want to do is get out of this bag just some strips. Basalt cover strips will do, just because it's what I happen to have. Boom, right there. And there as well, because we're going to run this guy inside. And there, it would seem, to an RS NOR latch. And basically, it's going to work like this. And I should get my sonic screwdriver out while I'm at this too. Sonic, where are you at? There you are. So first off, I want to get this guy the snaky pattern thingy, like that. But let's... that's kind of backwards, isn't it? Is that what I want it to be? Yeah, I think so. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, and cover strip this guy so that they don't connect. And then this guy can kind of come in from here and be the pressure plate on the other side of the door that I talked about. So probably right about under here. Cool, that looks good. Probably could just do it there. Okay, and then a stone pressure plate is really all I should need to finalize this thing. So what this should do then is that when I press the button, you should have reverted this. Alright, let's do it this way. That's probably what I want. Okay, so when I push the button, maybe not. Is it this side that opens it? Yeah, that's the opposite of what I want. That's also the opposite of what I want. That's what I want. Cool. Just took a little finagling. Don't worry, I got it. Let's get this whole thing smooth and fancy now. Right? So something along these lines. Stepping through here, and the door is closed. Now I wouldn't mind if the door opened when I stepped on the pressure plate. But I don't know how easy that is to do. Probably not terribly. Yeah, we need something like a NOT gate here or something like that to trigger on the whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. If I ever want to get out of here, I have a nice and simple way. Boom. Alright. So from this side of the wall, push button, secret passageway opens, step over pressure plate, secret passageway closes. Cool. Let's get all the walling up and make it look really fancy now. Nice. And then of course we want some brick right here. And maybe even light this place up a little. You know, make it look homely. Now for this piece. Because I got... yeah, let's actually knock you off here. Put this back where he belongs. I actually want this wiring hooked up too. So that when I step on the pressure plate, it'll come up here. But it'll also, briefly, but not permanently, activate that thingy. Cool. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to cover up the wall with what, marble? Probably marble. Yeah, marble. Alright, I think we're in pretty good shape here. All I need to do is go out here and test everything. Cool. So you can't even tell really that there's much of anything here. Like, it's really inconspicuous that there's this little button that really blends in with the stone back there. So, you know, Enderman, not around, right? Yeah, they won't even know this is here. Let's sneak on in. Boom, open the door, emergency escape hatch ready. Door closes behind me when I step on the pressure plate, and maybe even to make it better looking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. And when I stepped on the pressure plate, of course, it deployed the cart for me, and once I hop in, I should make it into my force field. Nice. Alright, I'm pretty pleased with how this thing turned out. Looks like we've got a pretty solid emergency escape system. Cool. And then slow down for the force field jump and go. Force field opened. We're inside. But I'm just going to run out because, you know, I don't need to be in there right now. Alright, next episode, I think, I'm going to kind of implement some cool defenses inside that emergency escape force field area, just to make sure that there's no Enderman that can sneak around in there. Maybe we'll get some kind of transport system to get back to our main base to investigate what happens, and, you know, whatever else we decide to come up with. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. And I should also probably start considering getting power distributed out by my, you know, little force field base down there. For now, I think I'm just going to refill a couple more of those batteries, wherever they might be. Did I leave them in my white bag? Or did I leave them in my ender pouch? Hey, yeah, there they are. Let me charge up some Lapitron crystals here. Oh, I'm out of lava as well. Wow, I'm really running low on power. That's alright, I'm not too concerned. I do want to build maybe a nuclear reactor down in that emergency base, you know. We want to make sure we have enough juice to hold that force field for as long as we need. Pretty cool. Alright, got that stuff going, and I'll be back in a few minutes once I've got enough power charged up in these Lapitrons. Alright, got plenty of power charged up on my Lapitrons. Let's head down to that underwater base. Something I do need to figure out is a nice way. Maybe I should keep this broken at all times. And oh, I broke more than just one block, didn't I? Yes. This thing really breaks very quickly when, you know. Yeah, it does. It's just the way it works. It breaks things quickly. Can I sneak in here and get this guy oriented properly? There we go. Cool. Yeah, when that thing's fully charged, it breaks stuff like crazy. Maybe leave this open just so, you know, not a problem. So step over the track again, and we're on. Good. I'm going to go put the Lapitrons in to charge up my force field, and then probably do one or two little things before we wrap up today's episode. Oh, interesting. We've got some zombie spawns down here. Good to know. We're definitely going to want to set up some kind of protection system. And hey, I got an iron sword. How cool is that? And some spiders. Yeah, we're going to want to set up a security defense grid inside this force field to make sure that anything that does show up gets promptly destroyed. But before I do that, let's make sure this thing's nice and charged. Lapitrons go. And I'm also going to grab out of my white bag here. Yep, this guy. Let's grab my mercurial eye. And what do I want to make the floor of this thing out of? I want to do with smooth stone, I think. That might be a cool thing to target right now. So let's put some of this other junk away. Don't need you. Transmutation mode. Yeah, see? That's what's up. And maybe even extension mode. Now I might want to... Ooh, I can't transmute this stuff? Guess not. Cool. Clay can't be transmuted directly. Alright, good to know. Let's consider... Do I have any glowstone on me? I probably have some in here, right? Yes. At least enough to do what I want to do. Targeting this guy in the transmutation mercurial eye thing will allow me to real quick shrink it down and transmute. Ah, much better. So I'm just going to space these guys out a little bit. Nothing too fancy. Just make sure I have enough, you know, lighting down here. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it's really, really not. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where it should have been. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, why not? Alright, I'm going to get this going and I'll be back. Much better. Yes. I just needed to count again, which I didn't want to do on camera. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. But I'm going to clean up the rest of this with smooth stone. And like I said, you guys probably don't need to see too much of this. Hey, sweet, not bad. Alright, good enough for me. Let's get it converted to glowstone. Sure, why not? Alright, I think this is pretty close to the wrapping up point here, and I'm really just going to be playing around with this mercurial eye, transmuting some glowstone for me, just to make sure it's nice and bright down here, and that everybody can see the way everything works. I might switch over to red power 2 lighting, but you know what? Glowstone, kind of nice, not going to lie. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And I'll take care of the clay in here manually. Yeah.